Baragani family. Ujima, yes. Cooperative economics. I am Reverend Sonia. I am a staff minister here at Heart and Soul, and it is my pleasure to serve as the director of our youth and family village. And I am here to tell us how our Kwanzaa celebration is going to unfold this morning. But before we start our program, I'd like to ensure that we have the permission and blessings from our elders to begin. So if you know yourself to be an elder in the community, we ask for your permission to begin our Kwanzaa program. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to share with you how it's going to unfold so that you can just simply relax and enjoy yourself and the time together. We will pour libation, and we will honoring those who came before us. We'll sing Celebrate Kwanzaa because we're here to celebrate Kwanzaa. We'll sing with our musical inspiration B. And we will hear about the Kwanzaa principles from our young people in youth and family via video. And then we will spend some time learning about the Kwanzaa altar from one of our youth and family village families. The Johnson Robinson family is here to walk us through the altar, and we're looking forward to that. And then we'll wrap up with a little tribute to honor our Readers Theater Summer School with a little Kwanzaa vignette. So are y'all with me? Yes? Yes, amen. So let's all take a deep breath together. So as we gather to celebrate Kwanzaa, let us honor the ancestors and the principles that guide us, those who came before us and paved the way. I invite you at this time to call out the names of the ancestors that support and guide you, and we will follow each of those names with Ashe. Yes, and so I begin with Geraldine Faye Russell, Ashe. Everett Ursery, Ashe. Yes, Raymond Gillespie, Ashe. Kelly Ray Singleton, Jr., Ashe. 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 Harry Belafonte, Ashe. Ashe. May their wisdom, yes, Ashe. May their wisdom and strength continue to inspire and guide us. Next, we will pour for our community and collective purpose. May we support and uplift one another and work in all ways for a world that works for everyone, no exceptions. Ashe. Now we pour for our families, both birth and chosen. May they be a source of strength, encouragement, and comfort, and may love and harmony flourish within our homes and in our lives. Ashe. And finally, we pour for ourselves, acknowledging our responsibility to be our best selves through love, prosperity, well-being, and joy. May we strive for excellence as we honor the past, embrace the present, and envision a better future for all. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. And now, I welcome our musical inspiration with Celebrate Kwanzaa, Ms. B. DeVoe.
We're going to learn these words and these days together. I know the days, but once we get to the verse, we're going to help each other remember what comes next. It's original by Brandis McKenzie. Celebrate Kwanzaa, I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa, I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. 7 joyous days, many festive ways, 7 principles for each and every soul. Sent to realize, to lift up our rights of the African American. Celebrate one more time. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Umoja, umoja, I want you to remember. Umoja means unity, to keep our people strong. Kujichagulia, I want you to remember. Self-determination to keep our people strong. Ujima, Ujima, I want you to remember. Collective work, responsibility. 7 joyous days, many festive ways, 7 principles for each and every soul. Time to realize and lift up our rights of the African American. Ujima, 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 I want you to remember. Cooperative economics to keep our people strong. Nia, 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 I want you to remember. Nia means purpose, to keep our people strong. Kuumba, 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 I want you to remember. Creativity to keep our people strong. 7 joyous days, many festive ways, 7 principles for each and every soul. Time to reunite and lift up our rights of the African American. Celebrate Kwanzaa. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Imani, 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 I want you to remember. Imani means faith, to keep our people strong. One more time. Imani, Imani, I want you to remember. Imani means faith, to keep our people strong. Last time. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. To Mark on piano.
My name is Mary. I'm 5 years old, and welcome to our Kwanzaa celebration.
Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong.
My name is Noelle. I'm 14.
My name is Mary. I'm 5 years old, and welcome to our Kwanzaa celebration.
Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa. I want you to remember these principles to live by, to keep our people strong.
My name is Noelle. I'm 14, and my Kwanzaa principle is umoja, meaning unity. Furthermore, this means to strive for and maintain unity in the community, the race, the nation, and the family. Some examples of this are to join a Black student union, maybe at your school, to participate in sorority groups or other nonprofit organizations that uplift our communities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Malik Espinoza Snare, and I am 11 years old. My Kwanzaa principle is Kujichagulia, self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. What Kujichagulia means to me is to believe in yourself. Kujichagulia.
Hi, my name is Ivan. I'm 15 years old, and my principle this year is Ujima. Ujima is collective work and responsibility. Ujima means to build and maintain our community and make each other's problems our problems so we can solve them together. An example of this is when we have our food and clothing drives to help our unhoused in our community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Vargas and I'm 9. Ujima cooperative economics. To build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and profit from them together.
My name is Felix and I'm 10 years old. Nia means to be about the job of building and developing our community in order to restore the people to their traditional greatness. Like celebrating Kwanzaa and learning that we came from kings and queens.
Hi, my name is Joyella Lewis Johnson and I am 9 years old. And my word is Kalima. To do as much as we can in the way we can in order to make our community a better place than we inherited it. Like when I'm doing my art projects. I always think about ways to make the earth and the community more beautiful than I inherited it.
Hi, my name is Daraja Snare, and I'm 7 years old, and my Kwanzaa principle is Imani, faith. We must believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. What Imani means to me, that I know in my heart that my elders and parents are guiding me to be the best me.
7 joyous days, many festive ways, 7 principles for each and every soul. Time to reunite, uplift all the rights of the African American. Oh, celebrate. I want you to remember principles to live by. These principles to live by to keep our people strong.
Hello, I am Adrian.
Patrick.
Winter.
We are proud members of Heart and Soul, and we are going to share the Kwanzaa table with you today. Kwanzaa is celebrated December 26th through January 1st. It is a time to honor our African heritage, community, and culture. And central to this celebration is the Kwanzaa table. So we will go through the different components. So first we have the mkeka, which is traditionally made of straw or cloth. It serves as the foundation of the Kwanzaa table. It symbolizes the history, tradition, and the groundwork laid by our ancestors. And all other items are placed on top of the mkeka to symbolize that our present is built upon the strength of our past. Secondly, we have the kinara.
The candle holder.
The kinara is a 7-branched candle holder representing the roots of the African people. It holds 7 candles, 1 black, 3 red, and 3 green. And the candles embody the principles of Kwanzaa, or the Nguzo Saba. The candles are the Mishumaa Saba.
The 7 the 7 candles.
And do you want to tell us what the 7 candles represent, Winter?
The black candle In the center represents umoja, or unity. The red candles signify the struggles of the past. The green candles represent hope and promise of the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Winter. Okay, so let's talk about the other components. We have the mazao.
The crops.
Yes, crops such as fruits and vegetables represent the harvest, creative, collective work, and celebration of achievement. They remind us of the rewards of working together as a community. And then we have the kikombe cha umoja, right over here.
The unity cup.
The unity cup. The unity cup is used for libations, symbolizing the importance of unity within the family and community. It's often passed around for each person to sip as a gesture of togetherness. And then we have muhindi.
Ears of corn.
And what do the ears of corn represent, Winter?
Corn represents the children and the future.
Right. So traditionally, we have one ear of corn per child in the household on the altar. If there are no children in the household, you place one ear of corn as symbolic of all the children in the community to represent all the children in the community. And then we have zawadi.
The gifts.
The gifts. Gifts are placed on the table to represent communities, commitments made, and accomplishments achieved. These are often handmade and intended to encourage self-determination, purpose, and creativity. And then we have the Pan-African flag, the red, black, and green flag. We have here as a tablecloth, and over here a separate one in the basket of zawadi. And the African flag and other symbols of African heritage are traditionally placed on the table. So we have here some books as well to represent our African heritage. And we definitely invite everyone to come up and look closer at the altar later. Patrick will talk about the lighting of the candles.
Thank you. The lighting of the candles is deeply symbolic, carried out over 7 days of Kwanzaa. Each day highlights one of the 7 principles. So on day 1, you light the black candle in the center. This candle represents umoja, unity, and the principle of striving for and maintaining unity in the family, community, and nation. On day 2, you light the red candle positioned to the left of the black candle. This represents kujikamulia, self-determination, defining and naming ourselves. Day 3, you light the first green candle positioned to the right of the black candle. This symbolizes Ujima, collective work and responsibility, building and maintaining community together. Day 4, you light the second red candle representing Ujima, cooperative economics, supporting and uplifting one another economically. Day 5, you light the second green candle representing Nia, or purpose, which is the commitment to collective vocation and community building. On day 6, you light the third red candle for creativity, making our communities more beautiful and impactful through imagination and effort. And finally, on day 7, we light the third green candle representing Amani, or faith, believing in ourselves, our community, and our future.
So each component of the Kwanzaa table and each candle lighting carries deep meaning, reminding us of our heritage, the struggles we've endured, and the hope and the promise of the future. It's a celebration of unity, growth, and purpose, a time to reflect, renew, and build stronger connections. So as we honor these symbols and principles, let us carry their messages into our daily lives.
And work to build a world that works for everyone.
Ashe, thank you.
Happy Kwanzaa, everyone.
Thank you.
Barigani Winter, do you know what today's Kwanzaa principle is?
Yes, Ujima.
Yep, Ujima means cooperative economics. It's about supporting each other's businesses and building up our community.
Oh, like how it always goes to Marcus Books?
Exactly. Did you know Marcus Books is the oldest independently owned black bookstore in the whole country? It's been around for more than 60 years.
Whoa, that's a long time.
It is. They've kept it going by working together and because people in our community support them. They sell books by black authors and about black history, culture, and stories.
I got a good book when we were there, at the book signing for Reverend Dr. Andriette.
Yeah, they're not just selling books, they're building a space where we can learn and connect with our history.
That's Ujima.
It totally is. And it's not just about books, like Calabash, that restaurant near the lake in downtown Oakland.
The one with the yummy plantains?
Yep, that one. They're all about community too. They host events where people can share music, poetry, and art. And every time we eat there, we're helping them stay open and doing cool stuff for everyone.
So, by going to Marcus Books in Calabash, we're practicing Ujima?
Exactly. When we support black-owned businesses, we're helping to build a stronger community. It's like saying, we've got your back.
That makes me feel proud. Like we're a part of something bigger.
That's the whole point of Kwanzaa. Each principle reminds us of how we can take care of each other and grow together. Ujima reminds us that when we lift each other up, we all rise together.
Happy Kwanzaa, everyone!
I'm back. We learned so much from the babies. Give them up. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Gracie and Winter. Now, if you know the words to this one, feel free to sing it. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. 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 I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I should. This preacher told me that I had to be good. Now I love 'cause I want to. I love 'cause I am free. Blinded by the Spirit. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yeah, whoa. The Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Whoa. Don't need any prodding. I don't need any law. Wanna sing with all my heart. God is my soul and all. Let go of my burdens. Loving God has made me free. Blinded by the Spirit. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Yeah. Oh. The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. 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 Thought it was my duty. I thought it was my job. Somewhere I believed that loving hard would be hard. Loving God is wonderful. Loving God The Spirit of God is upon me. Whoa. 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 Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yes. Habaragani. Exactly, exactly. Good morning, heart and soul. Let me first say thank you, Reverend Sonia. Thank you. Thank you to the youth and family leadership team. Thank you to the families that are a part of our youth and family. Thank you. B, thank you, you and Mark, for getting us started. Thank you so very much. And thank you, Brannis McKenzie, for our Kwanzaa celebration song. Yes, yes. Oh, this is for such a time as this. Ujima. The song is perfect. Ricky Byers begins that song by singing about how it used to be. I used to think that I had to. I used to think that I was required to. And then there's this evolution of divine guidance and this acknowledgement that the Spirit of God is upon me. And that's why I am doing and being and having. Yes? So to me, Ujamaha is exactly that. It's moving from a giving by requirement, a participation by requirement, because I have to. Often when I think about kind of our maturation process about the Christmas season, it moves from a Santa Claus, naughty or nice, to an authentic spiritual guidance that I'm being because it is right and good to be the way I'm choosing to be, to act the way I'm acting, to do what I'm doing. Does that make sense? And so this evolution for Ujamaha, for collective economics, is really about our willingness to share. Kind of a kindergarten principle. Isn't it, though? Actually, before that, it's this lesson of sharing. Not because you have to, is the maturation of that. I think initially, for many youngsters, it's, share because I've been made to share. And then the maturation is because it feels right to me. It feels like the thing to do, the way to be. Yes? So at Heart and Soul, okay. At Heart and Soul, I want to just remind you that we are, and I heard it being announced too, that Heart and Soul has from the very beginning established this notion of giving from our overflow. And whether it's a little overflow or it feels like a lot, it's this principle by spiritual guidance of sharing. And that's how we are doing it at a collective level. And the opportunity, the only way we can do it as Heart and Soul, we don't have any unique funds. The funds that we have, the resources that we have, are the ones that you've shared with us. And so you are already practicing that in order for us to practice it. Does that make sense? So we are kind of more of a macro while you have done the micro. You have shared with us, and we have said whatever we have been given, we're going to give a portion of that. And so this year, although we have already given at the end of the year, we are giving, I know at about, my prayer is $2,000 to Boss and $2,000 to the Alameda Food Bank as well. That's what, Ashe indeed, yes? That's what the numbers kind of look like when last I checked. But the funds, the last funds will be transferred on the 31st. So there's still time to raise that amount. And one could, not because you have to, in the spirit of Ujima, yes? It's how can I give? How can I be a part of that? So that's why every Sunday we lift up Marcus Books and Calabash. It's not that they're the only ones. They are the ones where we have a collective. We support each other. And our intention is that there will be more of that. I know I'm very, very excited about and proud of the work that our Imagining Justice collective has been doing. Lots of collaboration. So that's a part also of the collective economics. We have screened 2 or 3 films this year. That is certainly our intention around that, not the whole, but a sub-intention is the collective economics. Because we are exposing the films to folks, which means that it will make more money, it will add to that, the filmmaker, and the whole production of it. Yes? Does this make sense? Okay. Because what I'm endeavoring to do is to share with you how we are practicing and encourage you to practice individually and to be a part of our collective practice as well. Yes? Yes. One of the things that is happening on also an opportunity for practice is at Lake Merritt on New Year's Day at 2 p.m. One of our members is a part of this collective that is doing a global New Year's Day global cleanup. So this is another way that we can be a part of this idea. So it's at Lake Merritt at the amphitheater, and I walk the lake regularly, and this is a powerful shift. For us to own some part of this is in keeping with principle. Yes? Yes, so I invite you to join us. We're going to have it posted on our social as well as on our website so that we can start the year with an intention that's in keeping with Kwanzaa principles and who we are. We determined long ago at the very beginning of Heart and Soul that who we are is very much in keeping with, there we go. Who we are is very much in keeping with Kwanzaa principles year long. So I know we gather on the Sunday of Kwanzaa, and we explore and illuminate the principle. And what I want you to know is this is about living it all year long. And we do our best. We endeavor to do exactly that. There's a notion also, somewhere I read and copied this, that Ujima is a powerful principle, that serves as a call to action for economic solidarity and self-sufficiency within our community. It's about building and sustaining an economy that reflects the community's values and serves its needs. I'm struck by, can somebody bring my water bottle? I apologize. Typically when my sister is here, I have a little bottle of water up here because it's quite likely Thank you. Thank you very much. Excuse me. I am struck, is the word I'm going to use, by the way that history illuminates divine principle, and Kwanzaa offers us divine principle, just in a unique frame. Today represents 134 years ago. Let me just say that our Native American brothers and sisters offer us, I think, a really beautiful, clear model of collective economics with a consciousness, a practice, a way of living that says that the world is for all. And the practice is for sharing, for protecting it, for ensuring that it will be. So it was 4 days after Christmas, which specifically is Ujima, yes? So it was December 29th of 1890 that the Wounded Knee Massacre occurred. And I want to put these two things together for us, Kwanzaa of present day and an awareness, because sometimes we don't, if you've read my book or my columns in the Science of Mind magazine, it's clear that I feel like part of my mission is the rest of the story. And if you hear my talks as well, it's often I'm intrigued by getting underneath, getting behind kind of the surface level of the story, because often the story can be told as if there was sometimes a battle when we think about Black Wall Street. You know, the way it can be framed later for public consumption is that it didn't start the way it started, that it wasn't a massacre, it was a conflict. Do you understand what I'm saying here? And so often throughout history, there is a conflation of the historical accuracy and the way it's easier to talk about it now for some folks. Is it okay if I say it like that? Okay. So because that's what I do, I kind of want to share a little bit just so that we're holding it, I think, in the most accurate way. Yeah? So in 1868, a treaty was signed between the U.S. government and the Lakota Sioux, which guaranteed their ownership of the Black Hills forever. That was the treaty. And they also included in this treaty was hunting rights in South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. Now, here's my view. If we didn't talk about that now, it would be unknown largely. Because that forever part that was included in the treaty was just canceled. And so it is quite possible that many of us might not know. I mean, we say treaty, we say that Native Americans had treaties and they weren't honored, but we seldom know what it was. So we aren't holding it with an awareness of the magnitude of what was not honored and what was lost, yes? Okay. So the area specifically, the area of the Black Hills that was there by treaty was now, I know it's obvious, but I need to say it, that pre-treaty, it was theirs. So the treaty really, we just want to tell it as it is. It sounds like, well, yes, but it really was downsizing what they already had and how they were living. Is this making sense? So they're living large, and then the treaty says, well, you can't live that large, but we're going to break you off a piece. So that was the piece that they broke off. Yes? Okay. All right. The area was closed, that area that was written in the treaty was closed to white settlers and was known as the Great Sioux Reservation. Only 4 years later, in 1872, illegal expeditions into the Black Hills found gold. And I feel like I can just go sit down now because y'all already know what happened after that. You know that the discovery of gold in that area that had been assigned to the Lakota Sioux people, was now under attack. So what happened was Chiefs Red Cloud and Spotted Tail went to Washington to make strong protest. And the response of Washington was to take away the Black Hills entirely because gold had now been found there. The unwillingness of the Sioux to give up their sacred land led to them being labeled hostile. And soldiers began attacking peaceful camps on the reservations and destroying and killing and all of the things that we could imagine. The next period, from 1868 to 1876, resulted in numerous battles. We know about Custer's battle, so he got into the fray and headed towards Little Bighorn, and the rest is history. They were all killed by the Native Americans in defense of their land. This is a perfect example because that battle was labeled a massacre. And then that opened it because Washington said, oh, they're massacring our troops, and so in we come. But we don't have to use this because we could see in urban cities. We have known there have been times where as things happen in defense of, then troops are sent in. This is very familiar to us. Sometimes, though, I'm speaking of it because sometimes we have a selective amnesia. And especially around this time of year, we can sing ourselves into a bit of a naive stupor. I'm just saying, I'm probably getting carried away here. So at this point, we see that 1868 treaty is disregarded and military control is happening. Then the ultimate piece is when President Benjamin Harrison dispatches the 7th Cavalry to the area. And that is where the slaughter of hundreds of Lakota Sioux at Wounded Knee happens on December 29th, 1890. And somehow today, I know it's an odd way to connect our Kwanzaa celebration and specifically lifting up Ujima and that massacre. What I am committed to is our expanded awareness. Our expanded awareness. So I don't want us to believe that this notion, that this principle rather, of collective economics it rolls off the tongue quite easily. But I want you to know that sometimes it will be in opposition. Sometimes your determination to create systems, to engage in practices, will be met with opposition because it's not necessarily everybody's intention that Kwanzaa principles will be practiced by everyone all the time. So this notion of spiritual guidance, of commitment, of being committed to the principle of coming together and having a collective endeavor that supports the economic health and well-being dare I say of everyone, because look at here. I know that Kwanzaa, we are highlighting the African American experience. And we do that much like we know we have to say Black Lives Matter. Because if we don't say it aloud, folks forget. And we only know they've forgotten by the behavior. If they believed Black Lives mattered, there'd be different interaction. There'd be different outcomes. If we believed that as we look at our altar, if we believed that there was a universal conscious inclusion of Black youngsters in the education process, we wouldn't need this. I doubt that it would be lifted up. Am I making sense? You know, when we first when we first heard Black Lives Matter, we almost simultaneously heard, stop saying that, in a variety of ways. It's the pushback, it's the discomfort in the lifting up. Today we're lifting up. Today we're lifting up. And I feel comfortable saying at Heart and Soul, we're always lifting up. It is who we are. It is how we are. It is what we do. And so this lift up today includes the Lakota Sioux. So I'm going to ask us to just have a moment of silence. A moment of silence for those hundreds. Well, let's go. We have an awareness of the hundreds for that particular massacre. But in our moment of silence, we're going to go beyond that specific occasion. And we're just going to hold in our hearts and lift up the Lakota Sioux people and other tribes, other nations, the other native nations, whether we know the names or not, just opening our hearts and knowing that we know. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. A part of my thinking is, given who we aspire to be, not just as heart and soul, as humans co-thriving on this planet. This morning, I couldn't figure out how not to share this. How do we speak of collective economics, knowing the Native people's story, without honoring that? And so that was my intention today. There is this idea of social wealth. And the term is new to me. And so I want to share it with you as I found it. There's something about research. There's something about following the next thing and getting more ideas about something. So this notion of social wealth, also known as social capital, is the value of the relationships and networks a person has and the resources and opportunities they provide. I'm talking about collective economics and some of the opportunities within it. If we intend, and my prayer is that we do, to breathe life into it. So it's not just a term. So when we say the 7 principles and we sing it, that they're not just flat. You know, words on the screen, on the lovely cards you sent out, on the messages you forward to people. Yes, that we breathe life into it so that when we leave here today, we have a sense of collective economics, the upside and the downside. America is amazing in its schizophrenia. You know, I am an American at this point. I'm born at this point by choice. I certainly could have chosen to and be living someplace else long enough that folks thought I was native to that place. But I'm choosing to be here. So I'm claiming that. And I recognize our spiritual illness in the collective of how we see each other or don't see each other. We've kind of baked it in our history. And unfortunately, historians at a level of consciousness will acknowledge that we haven't strayed very far from that. I'm talking in the collective. So this idea, this notion of social wealth includes trust, a level of trust between people in a network. You saw it's still there. Ujima literally translates to familyhood. So and this doesn't mean bring to mind the family that is still working out their family issues. It's instead this notion of a willingness to come together and a practice of togetherness and inclusion. So it could be aspirational. It's possible that nobody here has experienced that in family. So just a word of caution, don't try to superimpose your family dynamic that has not yet healed itself on this idea. This is a different idea. It might be aspirational for many. It evokes a commitment to a family-like sharing of social wealth and the work required to achieve it. Emphasis on work required. This requires that we shift, that we change, that we up-level our generosity and our sense of oneness. So there's the trust, which allows them to communicate, allows us to communicate effectively and share resources. A sense of community is included, the feeling of belonging to a group and the support that comes from that. This is how Heart and Soul is. That's how and why we exist. I often have said from the very beginning that wherever we existed, folks, in order to get to us, passed other churches. So it's not just the seeking of a church community of any ilk. It's a very specific. And so if we're seeking a specific connection, go for it. Get all in. Get all in. Get to the connection and be a part of it. Yeah? Oh, now I start, what they say now, the preacher stop preaching and start meddling. Now I'm all up in your Kool-Aid around. This notion of a sense of community, though, means you I don't think we call it community if you just kind of come and go. I mean, you call it, like, you're welcome, but I don't know that you're part of a community if you only show up and, most of the folks don't even know you're part of it. And that does happen. Folks who show up and they are members of long standing, but most of the folks in the room don't know it. And it's because this part of the equation has not been realized. Yeah. So look, let me explain myself, because I'm hoping not to have to spend the afternoon responding to texts. That this is not an accusation. You do you. There is something about the language we use. Like, I'm a member. What do you mean by that? What do you mean, I'm a member? So sure enough, you went through you met the requirement. But if we haven't seen you and you haven't seen us, and we call it active, loyal, supporting. So if we haven't seen you, you haven't seen us, that doesn't seem to be active. The loyal is how our name is held in your mouth and in your heart. You know what I mean? Are we really on the same page, even if we haven't seen you? Is our name safe in your mouth and in your heart? And supporting. How would we know that you're supporting us? Often, that comes down to how people share their time, their talent, and their treasure. And so if all of that is showing up, we in agreement. Yeah, you remember. Absolutely. And my prayer is that that's the kind of member every member of Heart and Soul wants to be. In there, getting in where they fit in as best they can. Being a part, this idea of fostering a sense of community, a way to be. All of this, to me, relates to Ujima, because how we get to the economics if we can't get the collective down? Now, have I missed the point? Okay. I mean, this is how often I feel like I'm just exposing kind of the way my mind works. And sometimes I'm looking at people thinking that they're thinking, I wish your mind didn't work like that. But it does. So this idea of a sense of community, to me, is the collective aspect of Ujima. So, access to resources, the ability to find information and access resources through a network. This is what I love about our two giving end-of-year gifts, is the Alameda County Food Bank, a collective. Yes. So they are, to me, doing this. They're finding the information and access to resources through a network. They're doing that. BOSS, likewise, is working with the unhoused, and so has all kinds of resources and support systems. So we have believed from the very beginning that we're not going to try to start a food bank. What we know about food banking? And even if we did know something about it, is that the best resource? When we can collectively support folks who have expertise and mastery in doing it. And what can we do? Sometimes we can go over and help. We do some of that. Or we can send money. And all of these organizations are asking for funds to support it, especially now, especially in recent years. This leveraging of connections, using the knowledge and resources of others to achieve goals, is what we engage in. We support Marcus Books in that way. So that back in the day when we were over on 42nd, when they were hosting a book signing, an author who was going to draw more, require more seats than Marcus Books could hold, we would host them at no charge, of course, and support the process. So when we have, it's collective economics. You need it, we got it. Now, we've been asked to do a number of things, and it doesn't always work out. It's not always a good match. Sometimes it's not a good values match. And what I'm talking about is not transactional. I think maybe you'll get it clearly when I say it that way. We sometimes are approached for transactional experience, and we decline those uniformly because that's not why we're here. But we are here for Ujima. Yes, yes. So, I have an affirmation that I want to share with you and then close. And I think so we can affirm it together. There we go. So the affirmation that I'm going to ask that we affirm together is on the screen, and folks at home can see it, or wherever y'all are on this holiday season, and here in the room, of course, is, how about we read it together? Is that okay? All right. 2024 is coming to a close, and I am still standing. Let's take a breath, because for some of us, that's huge. Let's take that in. 2024 is coming to a close, and we want to acknowledge that to a person, we've been through some stuff. And in an Elton John kind of way, I'm still standing, which is saying volumes. Because there were some points in there when I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that on December 29th of this year that I'd be standing. So this is worthy of a celebration, and I invite you to celebrate it, to celebrate that you're still standing, yes? Let's read that again, and then we'll see if we can continue. 2024 is coming to a close, and loud, I am still standing. I am present. I am growing. I am healing. I am learning. The past does not define me. Let's say that again. The past does not define me. The future does not scare me. Now, I'm going to need us to say that another 2 times. Because there is such an undercurrent of fear that you are welcome to join. Word of caution. Fear does not discriminate. So if you invite fear in around some politics, you just living with fear. Because it's not going to just hang out in your political view. It's going to get all up in your finances. It's going to get all up in your health. It's going to get up in your relationships. It's opportunistic. It's going to get wherever it can get. And you have let it in. So it's optional. Yes? Let's read. We're going to read this 2 times. The future does not scare me. The future does not scare me. And look, when stuff comes up that feels scary, because I know that's real, something will happen. It may not, frankly, most of the stuff we fear hadn't even happened. Hadn't happened to us ever, or anybody we know. And yet we are totally invested in it and singing the soundtrack for the thing happening. What? On repeat, exactly. We are invested. The thing has not happened. We know very little about it for real. And yet we are carrying on. So when something comes up for us, remember this line. It's a get thee behind me moment. The future does not scare me. And see, for me and mine, when I talk to me, I'm like, I know you're trying to scare me. Thing, message, boogity boogity. I know you're trying to scare me, but you can't scare me. It's my way of standing. You know, my knees got a little weak, but I have to just say, I see you. I see you trying to be scary. You can't scare me. I'm just offering you this as an opportunity for you to claim your power back from that slippery slope of fear. One more time. The future does not scare me. What? I am here, ready for the divine unfoldment of all that's next. And so it is. Look, if I were going to make a suggestion as I leave here, it would be this next song that Ricky Byers wrote. It's this idea of use me, O God. For such a time as this, I stand for you. I stand for divine guidance, for love, for peace. And here I'll abide. Right here where I'm standing. This is where I'm going to abide. Command my hands. What must they do? I'm offering myself up for divine guidance. Command my life. It's here for you. I'm going to let B and Mark Ricky tell you about it. Thank you.
If you know this one, you can sing it with me too. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, and God so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, makes all things new, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my heart, it's here for you, for God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.